Welcome to another show of Waited to Win. Good to have you all with us again. And it's two meetings, Turffontein and Kenilworth. Of course, the Cape season is now in full swing with the running of the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies, Guineas, of course, and the Green Point and the top horses are all coming out now. And on that note, weather-wise, Daryn, all in good. I guess December, Cape Town, you can't normally beat weather.
Yes, the weather's been very good. The track must have dried up nicely. We had a bit of a rain last week, but it's dried up nicely. And yeah, I look forward to the Cape season ahead of us. Usually the best of horses around, and really exciting racing.
Now, just on that, with Joburg, Darryl, we had quite a bit of rain the last 48 hours. I haven't got an update at this point in time, unfortunately, but I see it threatens to rain again on Saturday here in Johannesburg.
Just before recording the show, I logged onto sahorsracing.co.za and they hadn't updated the penetrometer reading as of yet. But I'm actually quite interested to see because we've had so much rain over the past week. But one thing about the Turffontein stay-inside track is it does drain extremely well. But with weather predicted as it is over the weekend, it has to be a concern, especially with the thunderstorms that we've been having.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get on to the meeting now. We had our last show, our live show, which was a very good one. So thank you very much to the guys again. And the Waited to Win WhatsApp group has gone through the roof. I mean, we're now in a situation where we have to create another and get people on board. So there's a lot of participation and interest, and there was a lot of happiness, I think, that came from that meeting. I mean, a 4 million rand quartet. I guess that was almost impossible to find, but somebody did because half the pool was won, so to speak, or perhaps there were a few winners that got a percentage. But we're going to be in Durban, and we're actually hoping to be in Durban before the running of the Queen's Plate. We want to come to Durban and meet all of our friends on our WhatsApp group that are in Durban, and we can have a nice open discussion like we saw the other day. So there's the information for you with regards to what you need to do. Just send your name to the number. And remember to use the WTW, the Waited to Win referral code when you open your account. It's 0691643272, 0691643272. We do not charge to be on the WhatsApp group. It's for free, as you know. And we just like to share that information with you and the other prizes that come with it. So there's from Cape Town in the last 24 hours, you heard from Daryn, he had 20 mils, but he says it's drying up. There's a pen there of 22. At this point in time, there is a 4-meter spur when they turn for home. So take a note of that. And we are obviously on the summer course. Those are the only scratchings I've got for you at that time of the morning. Race 8, scratch 5. And then we've got 3 scratchings in the 9th race, all of 2, 4, and 9. So please keep your eye open for that. And we'll go straight into the market and take a look at how they're betting for this particular event, if I may, guys. And start straight up with the 4th race. This is World Sports Betting Bet with the Best Summer Stayers. It's at 2,500 meters. And right up front, Daryn, I want to ask what your view on Bayberry, because I've sort of put that in as one of my doubles into Desert Miracle. So I don't have to take 4 or 5 to 10 Desert Miracle. I can take 10 to 1 Desert Miracle if Bayberry wins. What's your take on that?
Well, Bayberry is actually my second choice in the race. You know, he's a proven stayer. He can go with the best of them. And last time out in the Algoa Cup, that was over 2,000 meters. He was running on nicely towards the finish. And on his best form over this sort of trip, he's going to be right there at the finish. The favorite, Crimson King. Now, he's been this sort of trip twice. He won the Winter Derby very well, beating Hoodspruit. And then last time out over 2,400, he challenged Silver Host all the way to the line. So he's got to be an up-and-coming stayer to follow in the Cape Summer season. He'll be my first choice over Bayberry. For third, I've thrown in a bit of a roughie, Salvador Mundi, number 8 on the card. He was a bit disappointing last time out. I expected a lot more from him. He was just a bit one-paced. But on his pedigree, being a dynasty out of Secret Obsession, he could really appreciate the 2,500-meter trip that he goes. So I won't be leaving him out the pick 6. I've thrown Black Nap in, a little bit disappointing in his comeback run. He's much better over this sort of trip. Anton Marcus takes the ride. And another one I've included is Chrome Yellow, number 1 on the card. He was very consistent stayer up until his last 2 starts when he raided Durban. and he disappointed in both his starts in the KZN. So his first run back over 2,500 meters, I wouldn't leave him out of the pick six.
Okay. All right, so you make it, so it could be a competitive race by the sounds of things then from your side, Darryl?
Definitely.
Okay, all right. Darryl, what's your take? I thought, with Gavin Arena being in town, as far as the stable is concerned, Bayberry, I think I stand to be corrected. I think he's got that ride and he's riding, of course, I think he's riding Jet Dark as well. So he managed to get 2 rides from the yard. And I was sort of leaning towards Bayberry. What's your first choice, Darryl?
Clyde, I'm not going as wide in the pick six as what Daryn is. Excuse me. I've narrowed it down to 3 runners. I really like the look of Crimson King. He's in great form at the moment. He holds several on the Woollavington Stakes run, and I do believe he'll confirm that form. And, in the past, he has been able to race up handy on the pace. He's even led it in 1 or 2 starts of his career. So from a 1 draw, Richard's got options open. If the pace isn't too hot, he'll definitely go up and race handy or take it up even. And, with racing fitness over this type of distance, that has to be a major positive. In saying that, Bayberry's met Crimson King twice recently, and he holds him on both occasions.
Yes. And
there's no doubt he's going to appreciate the step up to 2,500 because from the 10 furlongs, because he's actually won the Kenilworth Cup in the past, which is over 2 miles. So he's definitely going to appreciate the step up in trip. Yeah. Healthy respect for Bayberry. Okay. And then I like the look of Holy Warrior. 2 cracking efforts since returning from his rest over distances short of his best. And, he's receiving 5.5 and 6.5 kilos from his 2 biggest dangers, in my opinion. And that can certainly enhance his chances over a distance such as the racing over tomorrow over the 2,500. So I've narrowed it down to 2, 3, and 10 in the first leg of the pick six. And I think I'll be able to get through quite comfortably. I'm even going to take that trifecta box, Clyde. 2, 3, and 10. 2, 3,
10 box for you. Let's get straight on to race number 5, which is the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas. And she's at 90-20 Desert Miracle. Is she easy to back? Was that, or how would you describe the way they're priced up here? You'll know these fillies, and there's some good ones. I think Daryn will explain further too. Imagine totally quite decent. I would have thought Desert Miracle very, very hard to beat. Do you think she's going to drift in the betting? I was looking at like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, or thereabouts. But at the moment, you're going to get 50% back on your money, which sounds like a good bet, unless I've got it wrong.
Well, I just suggest for the viewers, that the professional punters out there that are going to have a strike on the nose, just wait to see her parade and go down to the starts, because she is traveling. You'd hate to be on at 9 to 20 and she's sweating profusely going down to the start. But if she's calm and relaxed, that's a great price, because she's been absolutely sensational in her last 3 victories. She's best weighted, and we've had Mark the Cock on weighted to 1 in the past, and he's hinted that he's considering running her in the Lomrance Queen's Plate, Clyde.
Yes.
So he knows what ability a horse needs to have to take on and be competitive in such a race.
That's right. So he said she was I asked him why not, what's on that same day? Is it the Paddock Stakes on that day, if I recall correctly, the 1,800? And he said, no, she's a proper miler. She's a proper miler. That's why I prefer to go for the Queen's Plate. Obviously, he's got to get through this first, but yeah, you're quite right. That's the reference he was making.
So if he rates her so highly, we have to take note, Clyde, and she's certainly going to be the one to beat. I actually make her the other Joburg contender, the Raider, her biggest rival. I don't think she's got winning chances, but you know what? She's very, very good on her day. That's Marigold Hotel. I'm actually surprised to see her being priced up at 20 to 1. I think she's over the odds currently. And last time out in the Fillies Mile, the race really wasn't run to suit her. She was dropped in, they crawled, she was caught at the back of the field, and she actually ran a cracker considering it wasn't run to her liking. So okay. I think with Anton Marcus from a good draw, He's going to make use of a draw, and he's going to put her in a prominent position. Excuse me. And when the chips are down, she's going to be the biggest danger to Desert Miracle. I've actually made her my insure bets with Betway on the day. She is currently 20-1. I really believe she's going to finish in the money. And you know what? If she runs second or third, you're going to get your stake back. So why not have a strike at a double figure odds horse and get a run for your money? Because I think she's the exact inclusion for this race. I think Desert Miracle for Marigold Hotel. That's the way I see it, Clyde.
So perhaps that's the exact play, Desert Miracle, Marigold Hotel. And then would you agree with that, Daryn? Firstly, that Desert Miracle is a good thing and hard to beat, and that Marigold's the danger, and then maybe there are one or two that we can take trifectas and catch multiple trifectas in a race like this?
Well, what I find with these Joburg Raiders, when they come down for the Cape season, a lot of the time they win first time in the Cape and then run a flat race second run. We saw it with Malmus last year. We saw it with Awam. We saw it with Queen Supreme. Their second run always seems to be a bit flat. So Desert Miracle having a first run in the Cape, I think she's in a league of her own. She's proven it in her last 3 starts, 1 unextended, and she's got a decent enough draw in her favor of 6. A horse like Emamzim Toti, she can really turn it on the final 300 meters of the race. But the draw's not in her favor, and I think she's going to have to tuck in well with the pace. And I think Desert Miracle is going to get first run on her. So I make it pretty much a one-horse race, Desert Miracle over Emamzim Toti. And I haven't made my mind up for the minor placings, but I think those are the 2 for the exacta.
All right, well, that seems straightforward then. Let's go straight into the Southern Cross. It's over the 1,000 meters. And now we're looking at a different story altogether, I guess, Daryn. 9-2 the field, where Veronici is top of the boards from one of your stables in Adam Marcus. So maybe you can just share some information and what you liked in the race.
Well, I'm actually pretty strong on Veronici. I did speak to Adam after last start, and they found a minor issue with her after the race. They have seen to it. She's working very, very well, and they expect her to bounce back to best. And if she does bounce back to best, she is best weighted by a good few kilos. And I mean, she's run just off them in the computer form sprint where she was unlucky, second in the SA Philly sprint. And on her best form, I think she could be good value at around 9-2. I've thrown Capitana into the pick 6. She only started her racing career as a 4-year-old. She is 5 now, but she just keeps on improving. And she won a good race last time out. I think she's the best of the rest. And I've thrown a 12-1 shot in. Gimme that. She's won both her starts up the straight. She did try the bend after that. She was a bit disappointing. I thought she could pop up, but I'm quite strong on Veronici in the Southern Cross Stakes.
Okay, so Veronici hot. Well, you do rate that as the first choice, and listen, at 9-2, maybe 5-1, perhaps worth a strike. Darryl, how have you rated the events?
Well, Clyde, on ratings, Veronici comes in £10 clear, so she should. If she's back to her best, she should take some beating. My only concern is I've got question marks whether she's a Scottsville specialist, because on that track she raised the game and she really proved that she's best on that course. But in saying that, she's very, very talented, and if the stable have said that they've found an issue with her and she's back to her best, you have to sit up and take notice, because she's gonna be the one to beat, strictly on ratings. My second pick is Sweet Future. Now, last time out, she obviously had excuses. She got her tongue over the bit. And what's key over here is they've slapped on the tongue tie. So there's no doubt she's better than that effort. And I'm expecting her to bounce back to her best. But the same with her, I think I've got a little bit of concerns because she is traveling and having her course debut. So due to the fact that I've got concerns of my top 2 picks in number 1 and 2, I've decided to add in 2 of the 3-year-olds down at the bottom of the page. Now, they've both shown ability, and that's number 11, Santa Maria, and number 12, Gimme Dat. They've both shown that they do have possessability, and they both back up the straight. So if number 1, Vinici, or number 2, Fluff Their Lines, Sweet Future, Fluff Their Lines, I'm expecting them to pick up the pieces. I'm playing to beat the laissez-faire form line, Clyde. So in the pick 6, I've only got 4 runners. I've gone 1, 2, 11, and 12. But obviously, Vinici on a day will take some beating.
Okay, well, Adam, Marcus, and Craig Zaki team up for that particular race as we go on to the World Sports Betting Greenpoint Stakes over the mile. And here, Darryl, you've got Rainbow Bridge, who's currently priced up at 18 to 10, Linebackers at 2 to 1, and Jet Darks at 22 to 10. So the market out there, they're not taking any chances. In their opinion, it's competitive. It's not cut and dry for any particular horse if the market's anything to go by. What's your take on the Greenpoint this year? It's a strong field. There's some lovely horses in here, really, really good quality. How do you see it mapping out?
Just looking at the market, I think the value lies with the 4, Seeking the Stars. I think he may well be overpriced. He may well represent the value at 701. Clyde, you know, Rainbow Bridge, Linebacker, and Jet Dark, high-class individuals, prepping for a big season ahead of them. And yeah, you got number 4, Seeking the Stars, who's had a run recently, Clyde. He's got more racing fitness on his side than the other 3. He might not have the ability, but he's only proven to be a length or 2 off the best on his day. So with that run under his belt and the fact that Anton Marcus is probably going to take him to the front and try to capitalize on his racing fitness by dictating up front, I wouldn't be shocked to see him reverse the form tomorrow in saying that he is a length or 2 inferior to the other 3. Now, you can't discount Rainbow Bridges, Linebacker, or Jet Dark's chances because of the high-class individuals they are. But like I say, it is a prep run. I wouldn't be shocked to see them win. Obviously, I mean, they're going to be right there at the finish. Their class could pull them through. But just based on the way I see the market priced up, the value does lie with number 4, Seeking the Stars. But what a race, Clyde. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a small field, but I have to say, but nevertheless, when you look at it and you put it together, it is absolutely, as you quite rightly point out, of the highest quality that you can get. I want to ask you then, Daryn, I want to ask you about just about Captain Fontaine, because you were quite big on him last time, and I think one can't really be disappointed. It wasn't beaten that far, or whatever the case may be. But how would he fare in this sort of company? I mean, Garth Pillar's not going to be taking, you know, he knows how good he is, as you've explained before, and he'll take his chances, I guess.
Yeah, I think they just want to see where they stand with this horse in this kind of company. You know, taking on some of the best horses in the country. Last time out at about the 100-meter mark, he actually stood in a hole and he lost his stride. I think he would have just about won or hold on. And then he very quickly, after losing his stride, the other 2 horses put a length between him and them. So I think he's a bit better than that. He was a little bit disappointing. But then again, he could be looking for the bend. I don't think you'll see more than a mile. But, I mean, at the weights, everything, I put the field in the pick 6 in case, but I think he's got a lot to do with his 105 merit rating. You know, in his 4 wins to date, he hasn't beaten much. There haven't been many winners out of those races. Then Seeking the Stars, he's going to set the pace. At least he can make the pace genuine. And usually this time of year, there's a southeaster blowing, so he probably will come back to the field, the final 200 meters. Jet Dark. Now, Jet Dark, whenever he comes back after a break, he seems to run a bad race coming out fresh, and then second run back, he comes back to life. And after a break, I've also seen that he pulls very hard. He's very keen in his races. So it'll be interesting to see if he settles, but he can't be excluded as he's a high-quality horse. Yeah. My first choice is Linebacker. I thought 2 to 1 was the wrong price. I thought he should be around 14 to 10 in the betting.
Really?
The way he beat Seeking the Stars in the Guineas in Durban, he never moved a muscle on him. He really cruised through. And I think the pace was Seeking the Stars, setting the pace for him. I think he's going to come through with flying colors the final 200 meters. And I make Linebacker a very hard horse to beat. Yeah. And then Rainbow Bridge, he's just an honest horse. He's a 7-year-old now. He did run second in the Greenpoint Stakes last year behind Bulgarian. He'll give another honest run, but I'm in the camp of linebacker to win the Greenpoint.
Sure. But you leave Rainbow, I guess you can't leave him out. You leave him out of
No, I've gone
pick 6 you gone field. Have you gone the whole
I
lot?
went the field just in case as they're making their comeback runs.
And this was Rio Karari then, as we move to this Pinnacle Stakes. Tell me about, 5 to 10 odds on. I know that you've labelled Rio Karari before, but looking at the current form at the moment and what he's up against, he looks a good thing. I don't know if you agree with that. He looks very hard to beat.
I agree completely with you. I think he is pretty much, he should never get beaten in a race like this. It is his first run back. Last time what I found when I saw them circling at the gates, he was sweating up slightly, and it actually put me off him slightly before the race. And during the race, he was traveling all right, but he just wasn't quite himself. So I would forgive him that last run, even though he was beaten a length and a half and it was a grade 1 race. He's a lot better than that. In this sort of race, I'll make him very hard to beat and a possible banker. Reason why I've gone 2 horses is because my pick 6 is only 150 Rand perm, and I've backed him up with Real Gone Kid, who won so impressively after 8-month layoff last time out, beating Rocking Ringo by 3.5 lengths. He was never in doubt, and he could be very progressive, so he's not one to ignore.
Okay, so we won't, I guess we won't leave him out. If you're taking cover jackpots, etc., then include Real Gone Kid, but Daryn is very much in the camp of Rio Karari. Darryl, are you on the same boat as us?
Clyde, my pick 6 is fairly inexpensive going into the second last leg. So I've opted to go 4 runners, but in saying that I've included the scratching. So if Rio Karari does win, I double up. But there's no doubt he's the horse to beat. I mean, he's South Africa's champion sprinter. You just have to page to the front of the computer form and read Justin Snaith's comments. He says his work is of the highest standard. So he's best in, he's backed up with a positive comment from the yard. He's going to be the horse to beat, most definitely. Like Daryn touched on, Real Gone Kid, he could be the real kid he could be the new kid on the block because his latest one was effortless. But I do find something quite strange over here, Clyde. You know, in the past, he's won a 6 furlong with the blinkers. They've now opted to remove the blinkers over the 1100. So it's a little bit confusing. But you know what? Obviously, that I'm sure that's Anton's advice. So we can't question that. But you know, the book reads that he only beat Rocking Ringo in his latest start. Just behind him with the likes of Russet Air and Vinici, they certainly no slouches on their day. So that was a very impressive win by Real Gone Kid last time out. And then Casimir, I know he's 7 years old and he's not the most consistent nowadays. I mean, he's certainly putting more below par effort runs behind him than in the past. But on his day, Clyde, he can certainly give his stable companion something to think about. But yeah, Rio Karari, very, very hard to beat. Real Gone Kid, his biggest danger because he could be something special in the making. And then Casimir, you know.
Always runs an honest race, eh?
Yeah, on his day, Clyde, we know that he's got the ability, but his age isn't on his side.
Yeah. This is a Pinnacle Stakes. So based on the weights with Rio Karari with 61 on his back, he's actually best in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the last race on the card, which is as maiden plate. It's over the mile. And Darryl, I'll stay with you and talk about Steinbeck if we can. That Grant is riding for Justin Snaith, as you know. If you go back, Grant's also riding Rio Karari. And here he rides another one of the state favourites in Steinbeck at 12 to 10 to win it ahead of Clap of Thunder, second choice at 3 to 1. Justin Snaith and Brett Crawford dominating most of the day. Does it come down to 2 or is it wider than that?
I've opted just to add one other end, so I've gone 3 in the last leg with the pick 6. In saying that Steinbeck, Clyde, you know, he's put up 2 very encouraging efforts, and I believe he's returning from a tendon injury. So with those 2 runs under his belt, he's going to be very, very close to peak fitness. And being by Silvana out of a dynasty mare, there's no doubt he's going to be more effective over the mile. So yes, Steinbeck, very, very hard to beat. He's going to be the one they all have to catch of the final 50. Number 10, Clap of Thunder, Clyde. you can see he progressed the right way from run 1 to run 2. And just have a look who's got in the saddle. You know, Louis Mtotwa at the moment is riding with so much confidence, and he's going to get every assistance from the saddle. And you know, he's likely raced. He's certainly got scope for improvement. I'll make him his biggest danger. The Steinbeck is the one to beat. There's no doubt about that. And I've just thrown in one other one. That's number 6, Miloe. Been finishing thereabouts recently, Clyde. But in saying that, he tends to get into contention when the race is over. And I see they've opted to put a set of blinkers on him. And if he's able to get into the race sooner, he certainly can improve on his recent form. So he's the improver in the pack. But I think Steinbeck, the one to beat, followed by the 10 and the 6 as his biggest dangers.
Okay, 5, 6, 10, 5, 10, 6 for Darryl. And for you, Daryn? Are we going big Steinbeck at the back?
Yeah, I'm big Steinbeck. Another favorite at Kenilworth. I think it's a very punter-friendly card. We're going to make a lot of money. And Steinbeck, I think the mile is going to be right up his alley. I think he'll be better over 18-2000, but right now in his career, having his 3rd run after a rest, in this sort of field, I think he's pretty much hard to beat. I made the immediate danger actually Sage King, who was withdrawn today. So I have ended up bankering Steinbeck. If I had to find a danger, Clap of Thunder looked the immediate danger, but I'm not too sure if that form line is going to stand up as strong as what Steinbeck's is. So bank in the last leg of the pick 6 for me.
Okay. Well, that takes us, whilst you're on it, Daryn, we have Turffontein tomorrow. Well, let's do Kenilworth first, and then we'll just have a look at your Turffontein best bets as well.
Okay, so my pick 6 is 150 Rand full unit. I've banked Steinbeck, and I've also banked Desert Miracle in the Fillies Guineas. My best bet on the card is Captain's Ransom in race 3. She'll take a lot of beating. She's had the one comeback run. She should strip a fitter horse, and she's really a superstar filly, and especially over the 1500-meter trip. My insure bet and value bet on the card is Vernici. If she comes back to best form, she should win, and she's good value. In Turffontein, I made my best bets, Tracy's Princess in race 1. She has moved stables from the Puller stable to the Paul Peter stable, and there was a lot of talk for her on debut. I think she was backed into 15-10 race time, and she ran a little bit disappointing. We haven't seen her since, but in a work rider maiden, I think Tracy's Princess, if anywhere near what they thought of her, she'll take a lot of beating. And then my other banker on the card is Burroughs de Legendre. I think she's going for 4 in a row, the Mike de Kock filly, and I think she's still very well handicapped. So 9-2, the double in Turffontein. And then my multiple for Turffontein with my best bets to win Tracy's Princess and Burroughs de Legendre, and then into a couple of nice price horses for places, Takagari, Code Zero, and Platinum Sky at 60-1.
Okay, so that's your multiple on the day. You could actually, with Rio Karari, that pick 6 could come to 75 Rand, right? Which you quite.
And with Venice, it could come down to 25.
20, yeah, that's actually unreal. And you're telling us that there's a good bet in the 3rd with Captain's Ransom. So Kenilworth, it seems like it could very well be very punter friendly, or so we hope. Darryl, how do you see it?
Yeah, my focus is strictly on Kenilworth this weekend, Clyde. You know, what a meeting, eh? Just have a look who's lining up, and you can't have your focus anywhere else but Cape Town. Captain's Ransom, yeah, she's certainly the best bets on the card. She's special. I know that the owners are going to be on course tomorrow, and I think they've only been on course to lead her once in the past, so really? She'll get the job done, Clyde. My insure bet, a lot of people are going to be surprised at it, but you know, I do believe Marigold Hotel is going to be in the money. Like I say, she's the exacta and trifecta horse for you. Go banker, Desert Miracle, banker Marigold Hotel for 2nd, and then narrow it down in your trifectas. My pick 6 is 576 for a full unit. I do believe Rio Karari is going to win, so you'll. If we do catch it, we'll end up catching 2 on the day. But yeah, yes, very, very excited to follow tomorrow's meeting.
You think Captain's Ransom will end up in the Queen's Plate? Trick question. Do you think they bump Desert Miracle and Captain's Ransom in the Queen's Plate?
I think it'll be easy pickings for her to steer clear. So
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the professional double, we heard that Daryn wants to strike early at Turffontein, so we're starting there with Tracy's Princess in the first race, number 11. Just bear in mind, we'll get an update on the pen. Please look out for that. There was a bit of rain, certainly the last 24, 48 hours, and they're expecting more rain tomorrow afternoon during the day. So look out for that. You know, we lost the Vol. But anyway, Tracy's Princess, hard to beat first race, and third race is both of the guys big on Captain's Ransom. That's a 7-2 double that they're choosing to play as the professional double of the day. One being in Joburg and one, of course, being in Cape Town. And then I thought I'd go with the Gavin Lorena double. I wanted to get on Desert Miracle, but 9-20, I'm not so sure about that. Not for anything. It's, you know, if you are a professional punter, 45% a good return. But why not take 10-1 if Bayberry wins? And that's the thinking behind that. I do like Bayberry, and I think with Gavin on, that's the one to beat. And don't forget, we're looking to come to Durban, and the only way we're going to be in the same room as you when we're there is if you're part of the WhatsApp group. And remember, the number is 069-164-3272. So please make sure that you get onto that, and we'll start sending out our competitions, prizes, entry forms, all of that sort of stuff. And look forward to joining you with the stars in KwaZulu-Natal really soon. And that's the latest as far as our show is concerned. I want to thank you guys very much. Daryn, are you going to be at the race course by any chance?
No, I think I'll go to the race course on the 15th. I think my horse is making his comeback run. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, it must be. That's a nice horse that you got there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wait for that to happen. And Darryl, I guess we'll watch it on the big screens from here.
Absolutely, Clyde. Nowhere but in front of the TV.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. And we'll catch up with you soon. Just information with regards to the WhatsApp group, which will keep feeding around what is going on. Please join. It's not for the show, so it's worth joining the group and having a look. Thank you. We'll chat to you guys soon. All the best.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.